right. I think we can start now because of the time. Okay. All right. Good evening, all. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the Aspire for Excellence Foundation webinar series. And today we will be having a topic titled Life Expectancy Extension. Actually talking about longevity. Okay. It's talking about longevity of health. And with us tonight is Dr. Sylvia Okoro. Dr. Sylvia Okoro is not a new face here. She's been here over the years, doing what she knows how to do best, okay? And she'll be speaking to us tonight on the life expectancy extension. But just before we start, I would like to give the ground rules, please. I want everyone to mute their mics, please. And if you have your video, please, can you turn your video off? The only video that's permitted for the night is that of the speaker, Dr. Sylvia Okoro, okay, who can turn her speaker. She will turn on her video or her camera on so that we can see her. Other than that, I think we are ready to start, okay? Okay, we will just start shortly, and let me put the slides in display slides format, and I think we should be ready to go. Please confirm to me that the slide is in the presentation format. Can you please confirm? Can you see?
Yes, confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Confirmed.
Okay. All right. So, George, I think you can start by reading the bio of our speaker tonight. George, over to you, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. Dr. Sylvia Okoro is a qualified medical doctor and registered nurse and midwife. She holds a master's degree in public health from the University of Port Harcourt School of Public Health, and she's currently nearing her completion of her doctoral degree in public health from the same university. Additionally, she possesses specialty certifications in mental health and wellness from the University of Washington. Her primary focus is on improving healthcare and promoting public health globally. Alongside her clinical practice, Dr. Sylvia has played a pivotal role as a public health physician. Her position as the head of COVID-19 home-based management with the Rivers State Ministry of Health made her a prominent figure. Additionally, she is currently with the National Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS. Dr. Sylvia is the founder, CEO of HealthLink and Bridge Initiative, and currently the project manager for the recent implementation of electronic medical records ongoing in the Nigeria Police Force hospitals across the geopolitical zone. She's a devoted Christian. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Sylvia, you have the floor, please. Sure. Dr. Sylvia, can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, George, Mr. George. Thank you. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mike. I'm most humbled to be here, to be asked to do this presentation again. It's fun. It's fun and joy being in the Aspire group, and they've actually impacted my life and that of a lot of persons, I can tell you. So if this is your first time, I'm telling you welcome, and welcome everyone on this call. And I'm sure you're going to find this topic worthwhile. But before I delve into this topic, I want to introduce back Mr. Mike, because he shared his story with me and it touched me, because actually when he gave me this topic, that Dr. Sylvia, I have something in mind. I think we should look at this. So my question would be, what would be the background? What really prompted you? Everybody has a story. Every family has a story. Like every country has a story. So what actually led you to choosing this big, huge, but very, very timely topic? And he shared his story with me, and I wouldn't want to be the only one that is hearing it. So I want Mr. Mike to actually set the pace rolling by sharing that wonderful, it's not sad though, but an an awakening, like an awakening for all of us, why this topic is necessary. So Mr. Mike, please, I'll bring you back if you don't mind to just give us a background why this is fitting today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sylvia. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, the background of the topic we are considering tonight is based on, I would say, it's based on a personal, I would say, story of some things that I have been experiencing. Today is the 20th of July. Yesterday was the 19th of July. I woke up in the morning to a sad reality that somebody I knew had died. And this person is young. I mean, young is not up to 60 years old. I didn't know I would wake up in the morning and the very first place I would go would be to FMC, only to discover that the person was dead. And I also visited the morgue and I saw life cold, lifeless body over there. This topic was prepared over a month ago. And as at that time, okay, there were a number of things that were happening. You hear of people, they fall down in their office, and a number of people, they are going through stress. A number of people, high blood pressure, some diabetes, and a lot of young people, you know, are just having health crisis, if you see what I mean. And the question is, can we not avoid the health crisis that we are going through? This year alone, I've known a number of people last year who have left. And the question I continue to ask myself is, can all these people who left, can they be living today? Of course, yes. This can be avoided. And that's why Dr. Sylvia will be here today to talk about longevity, our life. How can you extend your life? If you see what we mean, how can it be that people cannot just be 70, 80, 90, 100 again like it used to be? And that's what Dr. Sylvia would help us to do today. So this is just the background of the story. I'm not going to take much time. I will just go directly to Dr. Sylvia to continue. We know in other parts of the world, in Europe and other countries, they live long. But why is it here in Nigeria you do not get people living long? This is a food for thought. I believe you will discover the answer with Dr. Sylvia Okoro's presentation. Dr. Sylvia, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So touchy and very sympathetic. I can tell you, death is actually our enemy, and we don't want to rule that. And there is no family today. Everybody on this call have not been affected. And while you're sharing your story, I also remember losing persons in death just in the last couple of 3 months. So it's actually sad. So thank you so much. And sorry, permit me, I'm actually going to be switching on my video so that the network will be smooth. I'll be putting it on from time to time if you don't mind, please.
Okay, go ahead. No problems. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so life expectancy extension. And this, the overview, we're actually going to be describing some terms. Today, we noticed that we are looking at life expectancy, but with particular emphasis that I am going to concentrate on will be lifelong longevity. In fact, that is the word for me, life longevity, because the concept of life expectancy is more like a statistical explanation. When you talk about life expectancy, you're looking at figures and statistics. So I wouldn't just want to end and bore us with just figures and statistics. I want to go further to explain longevity as well as the synonymous to extension, and then you and your health, how we are going to go about that. And so longer lives, as we know, are one of our most remarkable collective achievements. And in fact, life is a gift from God, and I want to speak from that perspective. Life is a gift from God indeed. So the opposite of life is death. And life reflects, longer life reflects most of the advances that we've seen in social, economic developments, as well as in health. there's been some remarkable improvement in the field of medicine, which I belong. Specifically, our success in dealing with some childhood diseases like polio, like malaria that we are fighting now, and other very, very strong diseases. However, science have not been also been able to solve the problem of cancers and inflammation, oxidative stress, and all that, even though there have been so remarkable successes in other fields. Maternal deaths is still on the increase. Some non-communicable diseases, the NCDs like hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, and just name the T's. I mean, science is still battling to see how do we do this. And a longer life is indeed a valuable resource, no doubt about it. If you have very long life, if you have an extension of life, it provides you an opportunity, to rethink, to strategize, to be happy, and to plan your old age, to plan your will, to give your children an amazing opportunity, an amazing life, and all that. And so you can see that longer life is really a gift. Everybody will crave for it. Everybody wants it, isn't it? And as a normal person, you would like to live for a very long time, isn't it? But how long can you expect to live individually? I mean, wherever you're sitting, ask yourself, I'm Dr. Sylvia, how long am I expected to live? What is the limit of the human lifespan? Can you do anything to extend your lifespan? What is the secret of longevity? Why are people in South Asia living 100 years, the centenarians? What is really happening? And why are we seeing people dying at 40? I mean, can I in Nigeria, in my state, in where I am today, can I actually live longer life? What? So these are very good questions which no doubt you want answers to them. Finding the answer might help you to live much longer than seems possible at present. Prevention is better than cure. And I, Dr. Sylvia, I am telling you confidently that majority of diseases can be prevented. I want to repeat that statement. Majority of diseases can be prevented. If they cannot be prevented, Dr. Sylvia will not be talking this topic at all. I will not be speaking something that, I don't believe in. So I am speaking here to tell you that whether it is genetic, whether it is environmental factor, majority of diseases can be prevented, and it is science verifiable. And but before looking at these answers and promising to answer these questions, there are certain terms I want us to understand. 3 terms, in fact. We're going to differentiate what lifespan is, what life expectancy is, and healthy life expectancy. Take note that we have life expectancy, we have healthy life expectancy. So I hope you have your pen. Let's start. What is lifespan? Lifespan refers to the biological limit to the length of life. Biological limits to the what? To the length of life. While life expectancy refers to the average number of years that a group of people born at the same time might be expected to live within a certain period or generation. So take note, you have group of persons, you have time period within that circle, and you also have a region. You also have a, why am I echoing?
It seems somebody has the mic on. George and John, could you help me check who has his or her mic on? Can you please mute them, please? Okay, so we don't have any distractions.
Okay, thank you so much. So I want to repeat myself. So that lifespan, don't forget, lifespan is simply the biological limit to the length of life. So if you're giving 8,
You are muted. You are muted,
Sorry.
Dr. Sylvia. You are
Okay.
muted, Dr. Sylvia.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. So go ahead,
Okay,
please.
so while life expectancy refers to the average number of years that a group of people born at the same time might be expected to live, healthy life expectancy, which is very important, which is for me is what I am going to be concentrating on now. Healthy life expectancy is the average number of years that a person can expect to live in full health by taking into account years lived in less than full health due to diseases and or injury. Of course, in public health, we have what we call quality of life and qualities and all that. So I won't want to disturb you with all that. But just know that right now we are emphasizing on what you as a person you're expecting to live, the number of years that you want to live. When you remove some factors, the disease or whatever injury that may have come in between when you are expecting this within this your life expectancy and all that. But sadly to say, throughout history, man's life expectancy has fallen far short of his lifespan. Yes, man's life expectancy has fallen far short of his lifespan originally determined, yes, by God for a certain generation. In this our own 20th generation, our own generation, you see that the farther we are from the Garden of Eden, the farther we are from perfection, the lesser our lifespan becomes. Yes, I want you to get that fast. So let's look at the next slide. Let's look at what global figure gave us. Let's look at certain statistics about life expectancy. In Africa, healthy life expectancy at birth has improved. Yes, in the 20th century, 21st century is when we are seeing this improvement. Yes, so when you look at that graph, for instance, you can see that the graph is showing an average statistic per region now life expectancy. So Europe has 78 years, Western Pacific has 78, America has 77, South Asia has 71, Eastern Mediterranean has 70, and our Africa has 64. And what do you think Nigeria will be having? Yes, well, in Nigeria, we're having 55. Want to be, yes, on the average, 55. Some school of thought are saying below 50, but on the average, this is what Nigeria life expectancy is. So sad, isn't it, as compared to the overall view. So as you look at this figure in the graph, you note that, there has been some remarkable increase in life expectancy within this our 21st century. So you may be wondering, how long will this increase continue? No doubt we've seen some remarkable advancement in science, remarkable advancement in people becoming aware of healthy living. We've seen more of the baby boomers industries booming. We've seen most of supplement companies increasing and all that. That's why you can see the average length of life in most of these European countries increasing, and sad to say that of Africa we are still struggling to do that. From age 40, life expectancy has increased relatively little. I'm sorry to say, relatively little in Nigeria. So these are big statistics, but let us see what the facts shows. Let us see what the physical facts shows. And we're going to be comparing this fact with some myths. Amidst the facts about life expectancy, we're going to be seeing some myths that people believe. And in fact, this is actually where our consciousness, our intentions now start displaying itself in how long we are going to live. So one of those myths: a sunny, optimistic disposition increases your lifespan. Yeah, that is what some people say, However, the fact remains that cheery, happy, go lucky folks actually live shorter lives. Yes, people are saying that, okay, the sunny days and all that, you find disposition, being optimistic about life, you're not bothered about anything, you're just like that. Yeah, that can also increase your lifestyle. You're not being worried about social media, about political news, about Arise and Channel TV. Yeah. However, what are we seeing? That even those who are happy, yes, they still live shorter life. People that we think should be happy. I mean, we've had stories where people want to jump into the third mainland bridge. And these are medical doctors. These are people who have vehicles, cars. By the cars they park by the side and they jump inside that sea. That will tell you that they are living, they have money. But what is making it? We've seen a situation where celebrities commit suicide. I mean, these are happening in the overseas. People just on their own, they just kill themselves, they don't take poison. What is the problem? You see? So that myth is actually not acceptable. The fact still remains that people still live, who have such things, live shorter life. However, laughter is still a good medicine. You will agree with me. So I'm not going to rule that out. The more you smile, the more you laugh. I mean, scientifically, there are certain hormones, happy hormones, that you are bringing out that actually prolong your life. So the second one is, if people in your family tend to die young, you will too. This is wrong. This is a myth. This is a myth. Wherever that culture is coming from, wherever they are saying that, genetics account for only a small percentage of your longevity. Of course, no doubt, family lineage comes from the DNA, from your gene and gene makeup, the way you look. You took it from your mom or your dad or your grandparents and all that. So also the DNA replication and copying to where you are today. So if you're saying that if it is there, don't worry. A lot of my people died at 50. So I'm even expected. Please, it is wrong, right? Yes, it is very wrong, because the gene accounts for just small percentage of longevity, just small, and all that. So the next myth is that it's too late to do any good by giving up bad habits like smoking and tanning. Have you heard the language, something must kill a man? No, I need someone to tell me. Have you heard that? Something must kill a man, right? The men here, is it true? Yeah, you could chat. You could chat. I like being conversational
That's
when I'm
true.
giving my presentation. That's true, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
met a young man sometime ago, and he's about 45, and he told me that his father smoked and died at 80, and all through he lived, his father was smoking and died at 80. So why would he take precaution not to smoke? That if his father can live, that something must kill a man. This is belief, health belief continuum, health belief model. Of course, we have a concept like that where you want to determine the health belief model of certain persons, and that leads them to the way they live their life, what they see and what they be doing. But that is not true. It gets to the point where this young man now had lung cancer at 49, and an X-ray viewing imagery of his lungs said otherwise. You understand? And so his father lives in a different environment, with a different economy, with a different social status, with an environment where there is no pollution as it is now, with not too much stress, psychological stress as we are having it today, and the term that we are going to be seeing later, Exposome, must have played in and all that. So he could be resilient to certain things in that era, but it's different from what we are seeing today. And so please, if we have friends that think like that, it is not true. People who stopped smoking when they were between ages 45 and 54 gained about 6 years of life. This is facts. This is scientific documentation. Compare with others who kept what? Puffing. Yes. And so this is the fact. Smoking can never help anyone. The next myth is working too hard will put you in an early grave. After all, the Bible encourages you to work hard, to learn from the ants. Go look at the ants and see how the ants prepare themselves for the rainy season. And so working hard, they said, will lead you to early grave. But what does the fact shows? Hard workers actually have a 20% to 30% lower risk of early death. Yes, you know why? All their senses are working. I mean, this is not working without result. This is purposeful hard work. Mr. Mike, Mr. George, all of you here, you're working in your companies. Every morning you have a routine. You wake up in the morning by 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. provided you're having 5 hours to 6 hours sleep anyways and all that. Provided you're having quality sleep. So let me not quantify it, because in life longevity we talk about quality of sleep and not quantity of sleep. So I'm going to explain that when we get into lifestyle changes and all that. So you see, you're working hard, you're providing, you're happy, you have a routine. This makes you different. I mean, you have good disposition, you have good mental disposition, and so 20 to 30% of your life is assured. So it reduces the risk of death, and you can get that from the longevity project study. You can actually go there. So I'm actually trying to get some facts so that you know. So the next one is, only old age disease affect life expectancy. That is not true. Comorbidities, yes. Before now, we say we are talking about degenerative disease and all that, and people say that certain diseases are linked to old age, and science, we could prove that before now. We know we have comorbidities that are associated with growing older. However, the fact still remains now that what we are seeing, just like Mr. Mike mentioned a statement, that diseases is no longer dependent on chronological age. I want to emphasize that chronological age does not determine disease anymore, because we see young persons, we see a child of 7 with cancer of the bone. Come on. We see a young man of 32 with stroke, cardiovascular accident. We see a young woman a teenager of 18 with myomas, fibroids, tumors of different places. And then we also see an old man of 100, an old man of 89 still standing, not even wearing glasses, because of how well he has built his life. We've seen that, yes. Still active. The oldest Olympic medalist, gold medalist from Kenya is how old? Come on. That one, of course, you're seeing him coming again in this present Olympic that will be starting on the 21st, 24th. He is above 50. He defeated science and sports law and all that. Olympic marathon gold medalist, running for more than 5 hours. 5 hours, come on. How many of you on this call can do it that you're less than 50 years? So that myth is really wrong. No, it's wrong. So don't think that you can do anything you want to do. You can encourage your teenage daughter to drink all the carbonated drinks and encourage them to eat all the spicy indomies, believing because they are young, nothing will happen to them. Come on, they could have cancer of the intestine. I can tell you. I can tell you this for free. You encourage that your baby who is going to school to always go with juju, with what is this, bobo juice and Capri Sun, because you have the money to buy all the juice for your baby of 5 years, knowing how little his pancreas has formed functionally, and you think that he will not develop diabetes, or hyperglycemia. It doesn't follow that way. So we need to rethink our culture of lifestyle. We need to rethink what we do in the family and all that. So that is wrong. Women always live longer than men. Well, in certain diseases that we can determine by age and sex, but generally, I can tell you that men, we see men who
Okay,
also
mo
live
abụọ na-ekwute
longer.
ekwu ndị ọzọ.
Someone's phone is. Yeah, can you
Okay,
mute the person,
go ahead.
admin? Okay,
The person is
thank
muted.
you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much. So we've seen all that. We've seen men who live longer than women and all that. So Some people say supplements and vitamins can significantly extend life expectancy. We have seen people, while supplements, good scientific proven supplements can help. However, we've seen people who, despite being on the supplements, still died. Despite all the advances in elixir is, during the 18th century, 19th century, when some scientists came together and produced something called elixir that can extend one's life by about 20 years, and people were doing that. We've seen advancement in surgery and all that. People go to do surgeries, moving fat, tummy tucking and all that. We've seen them still die.
We can't hear you again, Dr. Sylvia. Are you speaking? Hello, Dr. Sylvia. We couldn't hear you. We lost you for some seconds, but you are back now, so go ahead. Yeah. Hello, Dr. Sylvia. Hello. Hello, can you hear us, Dr. Sylvia? We can't hear you any longer. Let me check if she's still here.
She's not on the call.
I guess her network, but she just wants to connect back.
All right. Okay, no problem. We'll just wait for her to connect back. Okay. Thank you. So please just be patient, all.
She's back. She's back on the line.
Okay, good.
Just
okay, thank
network, you. So sorry.
No problem. It's okay. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay. So now let's go into how we can live happy and healthy and go beyond 100. Age with grace. You see that man there celebrating his 100th birthday. Oh my God! Please, everybody, can you claim this grace? You can claim the grace, but it's not by claiming. It's not really by claiming, honestly. So, but let's claim it. We have faith, but let's see what we can do to at least get to the 85 that the Bible said that we should get to. So, at least for me, 85, if you have special mightiness, as the Bible says. So, but if you have gifts and you're getting to 100, well, that's also a good thing that we are praying for. Now, let's see life expand extension. But what about some people said, okay, how do we achieve that? The possibility of extending the lifespan significantly by diet, by vitamins, by drugs, and so forth, and all that. Of course, we know that over 2,000 years ago, I told you I'm a devoted Christian anyway, so I'm going to be bringing, because wisdom is in the Word of God, and there are a lot of wise wisdom in Proverbs about living healthy, exercise. The Bible is not a science book, but when it touches on science topics, it gives us the fact, and I've always depended on it. There are a lot of things that, if you go back to how the Israelites lived their life in the wilderness, and some of the clean hygiene, most of the things we are doing in public health medicine, preventive practices, are all gotten from some of the practices that the Egyptians, the Israelites, were even practicing. Digging the ground and putting your poo, going away a distance from where your pit is, your water pit is dug. Those habits were done in the past, and it will surprise you that most of us don't even know all this. So, how do we live long? There are certain parameters that we want to look at, and we'll just be explaining these terms one after the other. So I have them here: healthy lifestyle, Exposome, Epigenetics, dietary intake, active lifestyle, and social determinants of health. So let's see some more. Before we start talking about those ones that extend, those I'm going to discuss within that 5 determinants. However, let's go to the negative factors affecting life expectancy, because you want to know what is good, you need to make reference to what shouldn't be, the don'ts, before we go to the do's. So what are the negative factors?
Okay, Dr. Sylvia,
yes.
Just a moment. I had a comment from someone saying the slides were not showing. Can you all see the slides? You can just give me a
No.
thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can see the slides, please.
We can see
You can
it.
see it. Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We can see the slide.
Okay, thank you. So let's get to the yes. So the next one, unhealthy lifestyle choices. Yes, that is what we call a typical sedentary lifestyle. Wow. And we see it. I mean, I don't know if men are actually victims to this. I mean, they sit in their sitting room, they are watching at this era of football, they are watching football, and you see how during the European Cups, like it was in series, like hours spent, and you're sitting down with the alcohol, you're enjoying good time, where there's nothing wrong with having good time with friends from time to time. But this is what we are talking about. I mean, all your life, especially those who are IT inclined, those who are computer literate, those whose offices job prescription has to do with sitting in front of the laptop, and the rays are into your eyes all the time, and you're affecting your lenses and your optic nerves. And even before you get to 40, you're just 35 and you're already having blurred vision because you've strained your eyes so much on the system. I think there will be a need of change in that lifestyle. And so your lifestyle choices determine how long that you can live. Yes. So if your parents at 80 were not using glasses, so why are you using glasses? Are there certain modifications that you need to do? Are there some modifiers that are leading to this? And so we're looking at poor diets. Those who have heard me talk before, I don't know, I always emphasize on dieting. Poor diet is the cause of shorter longevity. You know why? Oh God, the food we are eating today is really a death sentence, I'm sorry to say, especially bringing it to Nigeria. I am not afraid when I say we are at risk in Nigeria. I'm not afraid when I say where is our standard organization in certain food that we are put. Are you aware that majority of the cancer patients who should survive, their cases are becoming worse because of the food, because we are not looking at that system of the food that these survivors are even eating. It's even deteriorating their life expectancy, even deteriorating their cells the more. Okay, so I always like using the example of chicken and vegetable for mothers here, for men who cook. I always like being practical in what I'm saying. So yes, I'm still young, but I remember growing up in my teenage age when my mom wants to cook. You can imagine when my mom, this I'm telling you, like in the 90s, when my mom wants to cook, she goes to the market and she brings vegetable to the house. She soaks this vegetable in the water. In my science class, because I'm a pure science student, I learned chlorophyll. I also learned the importance of chlorophyll in green plants. And when she put this vegetable in the water, wow, the water changes to green. I'll just be in the kitchen. I'm just reviewing my science classes, what they taught me in school and all that. But she's just watching her thing. She just put a little salt. Then they all have the habit of putting salt to wash vegetable, knowing the fertilizers, the soil where it's coming from, the dirty sewages, that the dirty water that be pouring in that garden. They know the importance of using salt to decontaminate vegetable. But most of us today who think that we are modern, we're scientific, we don't even do that. We don't even have time to do that. And when she does that, I'll be saying, I will change the water 3 times and the water is still green. Please, people listening to me, where is the chlorophyll in vegetables today? I don't know whether you have noticed that. Is it possible to grow your own vegetable? For crying out loud, is it possible? Because the chlorophyll content of green leaf is lost by fertilizers, by soil, cultivation, and all that. Is it possible to use the flower pot? I mean, what are you even flowering to start with when you don't even enjoy the rose flower, the queen of the night smell anymore? What are you even flowering? Is it possible for you to get your flower pot and plant your bitter leaf, your green veggie, put a tree long so that the green leaf will know, at least the vegetable will be going round and round and round. Now anytime you want to cook, you just go and plug it, and then by the side of you, you have your small mini poultry where you brood your own chicken and turkey. Give them the food that you're eating in the house. Give them the food you're eating in the house. You finish eating rice, you go there, you give them, they pick it, they eat. And when you're eating it, you're enjoying the food than buying the bags of fertilizers to make them grow within 2 months. And you're eating the chemicals that they have eaten as well. You think that their body decomposes those chemicals? No, it makes them to grow like that prematurely. And you kill it. You go to fast food, you eat. We have to change this culture. We have to, on our own, plan. Food shortages here and there, but you need to plan for it. So you could use your garden. I'm trying to be practical and prevent those poor dieting. Lack of physical activity. Most people don't have time. They ask them, I'm working, I'm doing school runs. Oh, mothers, oh my God, very soon those children will not be around you. It's only you and daddy. And you have wasted all your years to accumulate arthritis and lymphoma and pain and inflammation because you don't have time. You're always in the car. Who told you that you cannot drop that car for once and carry your baby, your kids, just because you want to exercise? Enjoy the fun, because as you're teaching them some vital rules and regulations. You're showing them life experiences until you get to their school, if it's not too far. Even 1 mile. Parents will carry car for school runs, 1 mile. Told you cannot enjoy life with your kids because you're doing school runs for have time to exercise. If you have the money now, buy treadmill, for crying out loud. Skip the simple ones. Skip in your house, because modern houses are built with the ceiling very high. Skip. I mean, one of the principles of well-being for professionals is that you must have body movement every morning. Body movement, breathing exercise, breathing in and out. You must do that every day if you must expand your life. So you must do time to do it. So we are also learning, we're also teaching companies, corporate organizations I saw this in Kenya. I was, wow, really? Do you know that most companies in Kenya, most health companies, not just health, most industries, they have the culture. Of course, they're already a Olympic champion. They do a lot of marathon. The weather there is very cold, especially in Nairobi and all that. Do you know they have the culture between that lunch period, 11:10 to 11:25? Every worker will come to a quadrangle for a 15 minutes exercise. That is a way they communicate. Social relationship is enhanced. They do exercise, just little aerobics. Everybody is happy. They are playing music as a really. Because you've been sitting down so long in your office. Can we form that culture of doing that? Because you spend 11 hours in the office. So the office automatically becomes your heaven. And you have to make your office a heaven to yourself. You have to create it, whether government provided office, they did not give you fridge, or they did not give you a fine table. So you must create it. You must use your small and save some things to live very well in that office that you are. Substance abuse, there is no doubt, of course. What can I say about that? Our young ones, secondary school, teenage boys and girls, is so sad. Environmental factors, pollution, exposure to toxins. Of course, this has contributed to reducing our life expectancy, especially most of the people in some states, South Nigeria, in a very high industrial area, congested traffic and fumes and all that. I just put once in a while, use your white hanky, put in your nose between 12 and 1 if you're in a very high industrial areas, and let's see what happens, and all that. Then compare it for those who stay in the rig. You're inhaling salt water. Have you had a very congested nose, respiratory disorder? Just go close to the rig, to the sea. Stay there for 5 minutes and see what happens. The salt is saline. The water in the sea gives you this soothing healing. I experimented it when I went to the beach in Kenya. It gives you this soothing relief, and you see that you just start breathing so well. A lot of good things that God gave us in nature that we are trying to ruin the earth, abuse. So we shouldn't do that. So exposure to toxins. How can you expose yourself to toxins. I've mentioned this many times: in your food, in the rays of the gadgets you're using, in the handsets that you're pressing all the time. We have biological toxins, and we have physical toxins and all that. So we should not allow ourselves. We have oxidative toxins that comes as a result of stress. Excessive stress could build up toxins in your body, and you must fight it. So let's look at other social determinants of health that we can do and all that. So we have a lot of things to discuss about. So Mr. Mike, please, you could regulate me with time. I could go on and go on and go on, but it's practical. We need to make our time and listen to all this. Okay, so we have some of the social determinants of health that want to some non-medical factors that can influence our health outcome, and conditions in which people are born, they grow, they work, they live, and they age, and then the wider set of forces and systems shaping the conditions of daily life. So all these things can be termed SDH, social determinants of health. So what are they? Early childhood development. No doubt, the way one grew up can actually affect. Have you noticed that some children who actually pass through very severe hard labor, child labor, you see them carrying bags of cement when they are still tender, like 9 years, 10 years. Have you noticed that it distorts their growth? Yes, it does. And so some of the things we did while we are younger could have led to what we are suffering today. And that's why going forward, we could change the status quo by the younger generation around us, trying to make them comfortable. And I will tell you this for free, that some of the persons that we keep in our houses, the drivers, our housemates, our house help, and you don't think you're doing your children good by giving them a good lifestyle and then giving your helpers a very poor lifestyle. Automatically your children are inheriting it. I can bet you. You forgot that sometimes, so these are your friends, your children, and so when you're not there, that food that you're giving them, your children will go and join them and eat it, but you don't know, and all that. So most times what we do come back to us, and so we want to ensure that the whole of our entire environment also indeed reflect what we believe as health. And if we do that, you see that you're actually cutting the risk that will reduce your lifespan. Education, lack of education, they say, is ignorance. If you don't like education, try what? Try literacy, illiteracy and all that. But however, there is one disease that learned people suffer. We know illiteracy. Yes, one who did not go to school, who does not know anything. We know literacy. Yes, who went to school. But do you know illiteracy? If you have dictionary, check it. It's a dictionary word. A in front of literacy, illiteracy. Do you know what it means? It means a situation or a period of time when people who are educated stop reading. Yes. I mean, search it in your dictionary. People who are educated stop reading. Stop doing any activity that will enhance their mental capacity. And that's the era we are. That is generation. Yes, there is AI, everything. Nobody is trying to delve into questions and research. Yeah, accepted. Do you know that even carrying a newspaper and trying to read is an exercise to your eye? Do you know that? You're even exercising your eye because you're trying to look and look. Because there is handset now, you're increasing the font size. You think your eye, you're not even giving your eyes enough exercise to even expand for the fibers, for the nerves to even be happy with you. You think it's good lifestyle. So you have to be balanced. We need to be balanced, yes. So we need to start getting this habit of reading, knowing what is the norm, what is progressive, what do we do, how can we join others who are doing it. We need to form that culture. So when we say education, we're not just talking about those. I mean those who are learned, who are they're even the one who, when you see them in fast food, when you see them licking the whole bucket of ice cream and Cold Stone and all that and Gavin Pigs, you start wondering. When you see them buying a whole lot for their children, you start wondering, are they really reading what is happening in the world today? So that is illiteracy. Really, yes. So unemployment and job insecurity can actually give someone emotional trauma, can actually reduce can actually reduce life expect, can impose you to a lot of risky behaviors that can contribute to risk. Working life condition, yes. Those are social determinants of health. Income and social protection, oh God, minimum wage. How much did they say? 33 or 35? I wonder. You see, so when you even think of it in this country, you are wondering, but come on, I want to tell you. See, I do not believe in the school of thought that want to just blame government. Those who know me will understand that I'm very politically neutral. I don't want to. I don't send though. Whether Tinubu is real or not real, me, I no send you. My own is the little I can do to help myself, I will do. One stream of income cannot help an average Nigerian father, family head. I am saying it and I'm repeating again. Those are social determinants of health. You have to think of a second stream of income that you can do to add to the salary. Because for me, the definition of salary is enslaving you blinding you to opportunities and potential. They just limit you to that salary, and every month you are waiting for salary. Even when the salary comes, even if it is 35,000 naira, it can start a POS business. So let me tell you, 35,000 naira can start a POS business. 35,000 naira can start something, even if it is car wash. You're living in your house, you have extension, you have water, you have overhead tank. You cannot extend the extension and go in front of your gate and create one small job for yourself so that your gate man can even be washing people's car. That small money can buy fuel. That small money can pay the gate man salary if you don't know. So we have to start thinking outside the box. We know things are hard, but these are ways. So when you don't bother yourself with the hardship and all that, that is a way of expanding your lifestyle. That's a way of not allowing social determinants to affect your health. And you have to start doing that. Food insecurity, yes, I've told you some of the things that you need to do in order to secure your food. One, you can actually plan for the rainy season like the ant do. You can start now that things are less. Those of us who actually bought rice those last year and stored, when rice came to 90,000, none of us. Now, December is coming, you come and start crying. If you have these small savings, you can buy 3-4 bags of rice and keep, because they are non-perishable grains. Corn is out now. Can you carry corn and dry it and store in your house, like 2 bags of corn, and store in your house? They are grain. They are non-perishable. When the time of hardship comes, you can actually blend those corn. Use it because they are fiber. They are very good. They give you good intestinal flow, elimination, and all that. You can use corn to do what? Ogi, akamu, agidi, name them. You can just name what you can. You can cook it with beans. Your children will live healthy and all that. Can you buy them and keep now? Anywhere you hear any state, after all, come on, Proverbs 31 said a capable wife goes far away and collects food stuff and come back and makes her family happy. So if you're a capable wife here and you hear that there is a state where they sell very cheap live grain and all that, can you go and buy them in bags and come and store in that your storehouse in the kitchen for the rainy season? Because it will come. It will come. There's food shortage. Even Bible prophecy has prophesied it. Can you start now? December is coming. Can you start now doing that small chicken and start brooding chicken and turkey and all that near your back, so that by December you start killing big chicken? You can even sell one 30,000. You have made money that you use and do the stew for the children, than waiting to start going to the market and start crying that, oh, one chicken is 30,000 when others were brooding. What were you doing? Can you start that now? Your small salary can even do that for you. Yes, you don't need to spend so much money in buying feeds and all that. You can give them the food leftover that everybody's eating. They can be throwing around your compound. You can even buy goat and they're throwing around your compound. Yes, you can do that. So please, let's plan for food insecurity and try to increase. All other ones can also be, of course, we know that. So let's see what this term. I'm just going to rush through this epigenetics. Although I've explained them in my discussion about the changes in gene expression that do not involve alteration to the underlying DNA sequence, but are influenced by environmental and lifestyle factors. So I've just touched. Yes, those of you whose parents live longer, who had gene and all that, but there are certain environmental turn on or off the genetic makeup, the DNA makeup. So turning on or turning off. In fact, we know that cancers run in maternal genes. Yes. So and that's why I always advise women to go for check. I mean, you need to take history of where you're coming from. Does your mother family, mother family, do they have the history of any form of cancer? Because cancers, especially breast cancer, cervical cancer, of course cervical cancer can be prevented. Breast cancers run in maternal gene. So if you knew that some sisters of your mom had cancers, you have to dig and find out this. It means that you yourself can start now to prevent it because it's already in your family. You can start now to prevent it. If you knew that you came from a family of hypertension, you can actually do something. Even if you're a victim, you're a sickler or sickle cell, you can actually ask those who have actually fought this battle, see what they have done. There are some environmental precautions because most of their crises are by certain things. When you study, that's why I said illiteracy is what is affecting a lot of people. No longer want to go to the internet and research and see what is happening in their family, what to be, even though yes, some things in the internet cannot work. But if you really want to search out medical things and good advice, just go to PubMed. PubMed is the recognized medicinal journal library. PubMed.gov. So type in any form of disease, any form of affliction, and see some useful advices, what it is, how can it be prevented, what are the simple measures I need to take to manage them, and all that. You will see that this can help you. Education can actually help you. And those are the things that we want you to do. So how you are susceptible to disease, how the aging process and all that. However, there are some preventive measures that can actually stop this sequence, this DNA turning on and off of disease. So early intervention, early detection can actually save us. Yes, I'm coming from the world of HIV. I'm working with National Agency for the Control of HIV and NACA, and we've seen, in fact, sometimes when you think of HIV patient, you want to run away. Do you know that when you look at the viral load of HIV one is, it will shock you that some HIV patients CD4 count is higher than healthy patients. You'll be surprised. I can tell you for free. They already know that they have a virus in them and they are taking their ARTs and they are very, very adherent to it. They get to the point where the virus is no longer detected, and so they cannot transmit it. But their cells are healthy because you are what you are. But there are some persons who do not even have that virus, but immune system disorder. I can tell you. So when we talk about Exposome, what are we looking at? Exposome is just a concept that describes how our health is largely shaped by various exposure to environmental factors, the food we eat, the air we breathe, and various social interactions and bonds, as well as lifestyle. Some of the lifestyle choices that we make are smoking, exercise, and some circumstances that can make us more susceptible or more resilient to environmental damage. And so I can tell you, we need to start identifying. When we say some persons are susceptible, that means there are certain diseases that they are prone to, they can get. It could be due to occupation. So if you are working in the rig, it could be susceptible to, cold, to lung cancer, to, and all that. If you smoke, you'll be susceptible to cancer of the lungs and all that. If you're eating, your lifestyle is poor, you're eating all kinds of, carbonated foods and all that, chemicals, you could be susceptible to cancers and tumors and the rest of them. I need to start fighting it. You could be susceptible to bad eyesight, to ear. If you're working in a place where the noise is too much, you're working in the market where the music noise pollution is high, you could be susceptible to ear rupturing and eardrum rupturing and deafness and all that. And we need to be careful what we do and all that. So those are what that tends to. And so Some of these things can affect dietary supplements, and all that can actually help to increase our lifespan, or also affect our lifespan. Psychosocial stress, yes, stress, mental health, wellness, stress. There is no doubt. We have three types of stress. We have physical stress, we have the oxidative stress, and we have the psychosocial stress. The physical stress is the one that you're feeling so tired. You come back from work and after exhausting, so you're tired. But please, my advice, Dr. Silva, is saying don't get too tired. We can be tired, but don't get too tired, because when you get too tired, then you cannot give your family the best. You don't have attention for your wife. Do you know family companionship? Well, I will talk about it. Is one way that you can actually improve your lifespan. So please, do not involve yourself in things that are drain your power. So physical stress, the one that drain your muscles and ligaments, that you cannot even perform as a man. Child, a man will, we doctor, we are the only one that is allowed to hear anything and say any word. And so, men are now meeting me and meeting some of my colleagues. The advice is, this work they are doing, that they cannot longer perform as men. Really, they no longer have libido. It's a problem, I can tell you. It is really a big problem. So there are ways and measures. By the time you start working on yourself from your brain, by the time you start learning intentional about not being too tired. But tired, yes, is accepted. We can be. Your cells could be. But don't get too tired where your heart is giving you signal and then you're not listening to that signal. Where your muscle is giving you signal and you're not listening to that, please. Why the oxidative stress is the one that we get from food, from environment, the one that is internal. And by the time you affect your cells, because we are made up of trillions of cells, and every cells, if one cell get damaged, the tissues and the organs also get damaged. And these are things we get from toxins, from the environment, from the air we breathe, and they get to the liver and all that. So some of those oxygen species, we call them, yes, free radicals, oxygen species that come and they are being converted, and then they tend to harm the cells and all that. And when cells start dying, the tissue, the organs also die. So we need to prevent that. So, and for us to help ourselves, we need to look for good antioxidants. We have two types of antioxidant to help prevent, because that one is very, 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 very dangerous. Oxidative stress, that one is the stress that is occurring inside our body that we are not aware of. When you get tired, you can listen to music, you can sleep, but when your cells are that they are tired, that's oxidative stress in a layman term. What do you do? So at this point, we encourage everybody to look for good antioxidant that can help. I mean, I don't joke with it, but for the food breaking antioxidants, we have vegetables. Green vegetables are there, tomatoes are there, onions are there, garlics are there, and all that. So they could help you build. And for the preventive antioxidant, you have glutathione enhancers, which you can see. For those of you who know me, I don't play with my longevity and all that. You can see get longevity from the US and everywhere. You can order that. So I don't joke with it, because it's 100% glutathione. There are also good supplements. Look at the mechanism of action when you're buying supplements, for crying out loud. Don't buy supplement out there, it does everything. Yes, vitamin C, vitamin E are the food chain breaking antioxidant. They are very good. You can get that, but also be careful the way you consume vitamin C, because one thing about vitamin C is that when they attack a free radical, they themselves become free radicals. So they don't have the ability to recycle themselves. So you have to be very careful. And so I've talked about all this physical exercise. I've even mentioned a lot of it, how you can help yourself, healthy diet, then how to maintain healthy diet going forward. There are certain statistics that I need you to check. For the men, never you neglect having a blood check, a blood pressure check in your house. For men and women, men, by statistics, I told you, per sex, men tend to be more hypertensive than women. Well, we know what you pass through anyway. Not that women don't have hypertension, but they manage it well than men. So please make sure you have a blood pressure check in your house. Make sure you have a glucometer, even if you are not from the family of type 1 diabetes. However, our lifestyle and the food we eat can have the potential to increase your glucose level and predisposes you to hyperglycemia. So that is why, so once in a while, when glucose is short, your in the brain, it can lead to hypoglycemia, and at that point where you slump, where you just knock off, there's a problem. When that comes, just a Coke can solve that problem. Always keep some of the things in your house for time of danger. Always go for your PSA test to check your prostate level, especially if you are above 40 years. Always do that. Always check your blood, your hemoglobin level and all that. Always check that of your children as well. Always go for dental and eye check and see those things. For the women, for crying out loud, your teenage daughters, give them cervical human papilloma virus vaccine. Please, it is very, HPV vaccine is for children, female 9 to 15 years. There is no harm. Forget the myths and the concept and all that. There is no harm in it. It prevents them from cervical cancer. And for you, woman, if you want to know whether you are susceptible to cervical cancer, you can go for tests, and the midwives who are there can do that. Any teaching hospital have a center where they do those tests. Go for mammogram. Please, always do breast examination. Always go to where they will teach you. You can Google it. Don't allow illiteracy to affect you. Go to YouTube and on it and watch how breast examination is being determined. When you notice a lump, please go to the hospital. That lump, the breast is designed like orange. Orange, when you peel it off, it comes in lobes. Each of those lobes, so you have between 16 to 20 lobes of the breast. So wherever the tumor is affected, they will just remove that lobe. That's all, and you're free. Don't allow it to become cancerous and start spreading. Please do that, and these things can save our life and all that. Sleep well. Quality of sleep is not determined by how many hours you could sleep, and you're being haunted in your sleep, and you're turning, your dog is back, you wake up and you have slept for 7 hours, but you could sleep for 2 good hours, and that 2 hours is quality. However, medically, we recommend 5 to 6 hours for a healthy human. So ensure, and for your children, ensure that they sleep when they come back from school. You know why? Because growth occurs at night. Growth occurs when they are sleeping. So do you know when they start adding that height? They do that when they are sleeping. Ensure that they have rest. Ensure that they sleep. When they wake up, they are hyperactive, and that is because their glutathione level is very high. But you need to control it. You need to control it now so that they can become healthy humans and healthy beings when they grow up. And above all, establish a healthy routine. One of those healthy routines are spiritual. Never neglect a spiritual routine. You cannot do without your God, whether you're a Muslim, whether you serve whatever you're serving, whether you are serving a Madonna, whether there is a consciousness in us to recognize a spiritual being. For crying out loud, form that good spiritual habit. When all hope is lost, when man disappoints you, when your husband disappoints you, your employer, God at that point will not disappoint you. When you open the scriptures of the Holy Book, whether Quran or the Holy Bible, you open it and you read, you have this sense that there is somebody there that understands you. You pour your heart on him. He says, pour your burden to him. Your burden. And what again he said, roll it, roll it. It means that get to a point where your burden becomes too much. God says, roll it, because you cannot lift it again. Roll it on him. Allow him to handle it. Do not have any problem with your neighbors. Leave the two greatest who love your neighbor and love God. Neighbors, love them, irrespective of what the word has said, that nobody can be trusted. Do an act of good. Help the poor, help the orphans, help the widows. These are things that give you satisfaction in life, and you are so happy. If you do all this and attach it to the physical healthy routine that we have talked about, I can tell you there's a possibility against all odds that you can actually extend your life span. Thank you so much, Mr. Mike.
All right, thank you very much. Please, could we give her a digital hand clap, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Sylvia. I think we have some questions. If you have a question to ask, please raise up your hands. But just before we go to this section, just keep your hands up. She will take your questions. But just before we do that, we have we will complete. We have just 2 slides for the next.
When they call you now, they won't send you out.
Hello, somebody's mic is on. I don't know who the person is. Can you help me mute if you are not the speaker? AGK Onya, your mic is on. Please, can you mute? Thank you. Who else has the mic on? Okay, I think we are beautiful. We are okay. So just lift up your hands and you can use the chat box, please. While the questions are going on, maybe Dr. Sylvia can probably take some water for a minute or two.
Yes, I have it here.
Beautiful, for a minute or two while I call on Mrs. Buari. Okay, she's our speaker for the month of August. Okay, just to introduce the speech, what we would have in August, and then we'll come back to take the questions and answers. So let me share this slide again, and I guess that way we should be ready. Mrs. Buari, are you here, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay, please. All right. So go ahead. You have 2 minutes, and then we'll get back to Doctor. Go ahead, madam.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Sylvia. I have enjoyed this very wonderful session. This same time next month, we're going to be talking about building champions from within. Who are the champions you have heard about? Or who are those, what are those great names that come to mind when you think of the word champion? Serena and Venus Williams? Or is it Les Brown? You see those great names like Derek Prince, Oprah Winfrey, Mother Teresa, Michelle Obama. They all used affirmations. And next month, we are going to be learning how we can equip our children with affirmations that can change their lives and move them on from one phase to the next. That's all we're going to be looking at next week. And I'm really looking forward to next month. I'm looking forward to having you and being here. Yes, I will use this opportunity to quickly talk about my holiday course for children. Really, we take a lot of things for granted. You see teachers and parents that deal with children directly, but children complain. Children get frustrated and they have great difficulty with their learning. They just shout on them, go and read, go and study. Meanwhile, these children really do not know how to learn. They don't know how their brain functions. Can we equip them with this knowledge? Can we teach them how to learn? Adults do not know how to learn. Can we learn to learn? And that's what this course is about. I have had the session with parents and educators, and I'm having it with children this time. And aside the brain and the memory management, I'm also teaching them public speaking. After death, which Dr. Okoro has addressed today, the next thing people fear the most is public speaking. Adults have been to me to teach them, coach them on public speaking. My university students are battling with public speaking. But can we equip these young ones, now that they are still young, with this great power that they can, calculate their speech rates, they can sound resonant, they can prepare their content and sound really confident when they speak. We have had 2 cohorts of this course, and the 3rd cohort is on. Batch A is on now, and Batch B is going to start on the 5th of August, 5th to 16th. It's just 2 weeks. So if you're interested, Mr. Mike has the link. You can get more information through the link, and I'll look forward to seeing your child within the course. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. I guess we can go to the questions now by order of priority. The first hand I see for the question is Chinonso. Then after Chinonso, we have Sir Godson Uzuku. But Chinonso, please, could you unmute and ask your question to Dr. Sylvia Okoro? Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Mike. Like, it's been a long time, and equally thank you, Dr. Sylvia, as well too. And I want to thank Dr. Mike equally for this occasion that he brought up. Seriously, I've not been attending because of my schedules as well too, and I'm not in the country. I'm not in Nigeria. I'm outside the country right now. So, Dr. Sylvia, I want to ask you a question. Like, I heard what you said, and everything you talked to us about was so wonderful. Um, uh, some of us over here make use of the computer system like 9 to 5, like seriously. And I want to ask a given question, like, how do we kind of take care of our eyes? Because we were equally given some of these computer glasses to be using as well too, but I feel like there should be extra measures to that as well. So how can we like take care of ourselves, take care of our eyes? Because if the eye is damaged, the whole body is damaged as well too. So thank you.
Yes. Okay. Should I take the whole question or I can answer this?
Okay, maybe just take this one because we don't know the direction the next question
Okay.
would go. So maybe just take this
Okay.
quickly, then we'll go for the other ones. You also have questions in the chat box also,
Okay.
huh? Okay, so if you can
Okay.
be quick,
So
appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah. So we can take care of our eyes while using there is no doubt that we must use computers, we must use the gadgets, the handset and all that. And the more we do that, we are training our eyes. And of course, you know that the eyes are made up of nerves, and unlike cells can actually be renewed. But the nerves, when one nerve dies, you can't really renew it. And for experts like eye surgeons that I have had interaction with, they tell you that when the nerves get bad, you know what they do. There are two ways. They can either stop the functional ones from becoming dysfunctional. And so if you're having like 100,000 functional that is still remaining, so they want to do all they could to hold it at that point so that it doesn't get dysfunctional. The dysfunctional ones cannot be repaired. And one of the measures they do is by you giving them encourage, even after surgery, encourage them to take very serious glutathione enhancers, which are the body antioxidants. However, yeah, you could get that by drugs, by injectables and all that. However, there are certain steps that I will encourage everyone to do. You could follow the on you want to test your eye acuity, your visual acuity. You want to check how strong the RC are. You could follow the 2020. I mean, then when we used to go for eye check, they say, do the 20-20-20 rule. You know, every 20 minutes you take a 20-second break, and then you look at something. You know, you then 20 feet away. Then this can help you reduce the strain. Yes, so you are in front of the computer system, and then you just look, not just spinning your eye all the time. You know, my video is on all the time. In fact, some people will even get closer to bringing it very close, like, what is this? You know, so, and when you see your children in that habit, you know, some children, they want to go close to the TV, smart TV, that they feel like they want to enter inside the cartoon. So when you see people in that habit, the same way with adults, when they are watching football too, they want to, like, as if they want to become the Man U player. I don't understand. So sometimes there are some distances that the eye optometrist can teach you the distance from the rays. There are some screen guards that you could use to prevent. In fact, we have reading glasses that you could adjust the monitor in such a way that you position it in such a way that the length, you know, your arm, like the way I'm stretching like that, like your arm's length is away and the top of the screen is slightly below your eye level. You understand? So like it's not directly, it's just below your eye level. At that point, you can also reduce the brightness, and you can also reduce the contrast. And of course, every handset have brightness, every smart laptop has where you reduce. But some people want to just put the brightness so what that it can actually affect. And then always use an anti reading glass, that can help you And not just that, always use proper lighting. You can see that my lighting is very bad because I know I'm going to be using the system. I'm going to be on Zoom for almost an hour. I ensure that I am actually where the light is on top of my head, you understand? So always ensure that the light is brighter than the monitor, the light on the monitor. But some people, even when they have taken light, you still want to be there and all that. You could bring a reading lamp. Everybody's encouraged to have a recharge. Is it because light came, NEPA, solar, and all that? So when people, our mothers were using rechargeable and all that, do they even have this idea? So we could also do that, and there are a lot of things, glasses, and then we could adjust our font size if it is so tiny, like we have damaged the eye because maybe we did not listen to this tip very well. So we could add that. You could take a break. 5 hours on the stretch. No, 4 hours is okay. 4, yes. You could stand up, you could stretch, you could go, you could, and then you now come back, stress. You could expand at this eye expansion exercise that I want people to learn. Open your jaw very wide. Then while you're doing, put your hands on your chest like this, and then try to bend so that your neck, the occipital bone at the back, you just bend like this. Then see if you can see your 2 palms. Then open your eyes wide so that the nerves, you stretch them wide while looking at your palms, and then stretch your jaw, open your mouth to the widest. You're trying to exercise both the mastoid, both the zygomatic bones and all that. So temporal zygomatic, that's this cheekbone. You're trying to expand it, your jaw, mastoid, and all that. So you try to do that. That can actually help you. Then take good food. There are a lot of food: carrots, vitamin A rich foods, vitamin E, glutathione, antioxidant, tomatoes, onions, and all that can actually help you. And then you could, when you've done all this and you've just felt like, okay, there are still some things that's remaining, go and see your eye doctor. Every family should have an eye clinic attached to the family. Just do that, and then
Thank you.
you pray to God.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's take the other. We have a second hand, and we have some questions in the chat box. So let's take the other hand, and then we'll go to the chat box. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Doctor. Well appreciated. Mark, I want to use the opportunity to appreciate this program that you bring in to us. I want to thank Doctor too for this, elucidation on how we could live long, or rather live longer. Doctor, just 2 questions. 2 clarifications. Today, the United Nations, estimation projection in terms of our life expectancy for Nigeria is about 56 today. But people are living longer than 56.
Yeah.
How do we reconcile this vis-a-vis the social maladies we are going through that portend that we should be going down rather than people living longer? That is one. Number 2 is that I would like you to look at the different stages of life.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that is just employed, okay? And somebody that has 10 years to retirement. Another person that has retired, just retired, and one that has retired is in retirement for 10 years. That means there are 4 stages of life. Mm-hmm. One, young guy just employed. The second person, 10 years to retirement. The third person just retired. And the fourth person has been in retirement for 10 years. How would you advise, with respect to retirement, looking at retirement, how would you advise such categories of, these different stages of life of people, vis-a-vis today, where we have the Gen Z, we have the Millennium, we have, I don't know which other one we have again. The style of living. You see, those are my 2 questions. But thank you so much. I think you dwell a lot on a lot of things. one has to take with respect to his or her own context to living long. And I'm happy that you also have to look, you also look at the area where there are certain intangible elements that people ignore that actually contribute more than just the material things we look at. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Okay, like we have said before now, I want to start with the first one about our life expectancy years in contrast to what WHO said. Like, I define life expectancy. I think we have that slide. If we can go back to that, we said the average life expectancy is just a statistic measure that, yes, I follow the WHO, which I mentioned earlier, that for Nigeria is 56, about that 55 point something. And that represents the average number of years that a person is expected to live based on current mortality rates. But for Nigeria, some persons are living longer than that. Well, there is no doubt about that, that some life expectancy can actually be influenced by some of the factors that we have talked about today. And some of these factors can influence the way somebody adds. This is an average. So do whatever you do, even however your lifestyle is, however your family background is, however genetic is, at most 56 years. Now, somebody decides to live 75 years, 80 years, and beat that speculation or that assumption. Why? The person decided to assess health early. The person decided to do everything that he can to assess quality of health. The person decided to be conscious and intentional about lifestyle and well-being, and said, okay, I have been determined that this is the lifespan, but no, I will not do. I'm going to get to 85. So the person decided to take good nutrition. So I think not repeating all the factors that I've mentioned that would have led to somebody living beyond that speculation is all of us on this group, and also preaching this to our friends, becoming intentional about our health, becoming intentional about these WHO statistics. I can tell you, yes. So if all of us have it in mind that this is what they said, but this is what we want to do, you see that we can. You're not even looking at it. You're not something will kill a man. I want to be careless about it. So you want to be intentional about exercise, intentional about nutrition, intentional about the age that you want to beat, you want to overtake, and you want your family members and children to do that. I think that can answer that for you. I hope that can suffice. So for yeah, so
We can go to
for
the second question, and we just take one more. I think it's about time already. It's 9 o'clock.
yes. Okay, so for the other retirement ages and all that, that is a very big that one, because there are 4 phases, and I agree with you. And these 4 phases have their own different, they are unique in their own phase, and they also have their social determinants that can actually govern what to do. But just for me to, I would just say in the nutshell, irrespective of whatever retirement age you belong, I, Dr. Sylvia, will encourage a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life within whatever phase you find yourself. But it's actually a topic on its own, which Mr. Mike will want to delve in, so that at every particular phase, people should be able to recognize some of the signs, what make up that phase, how do they manage it well, how do they migrate and transit themselves from phase 1 to phase 2, and then from phase 1, they plan for phase 4. And in between the middle, phase 2 and phase 3, how do they become there, like stagnated, not moving, not deteriorating to this side of the graph, but have a health behavior that takes them to phase 4 and beyond. So I think we are going to delve on that. Trust me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. Sorry, I just want to apologize to those who are just 2 minutes above the time. We just only have one more question from Catherine Amos. We will take that, and then we will just round up. Okay. I appreciate your time. We have a question in the chat box. Do you advise us to use salt to wash our vegetables? You were talking about vegetables soaked in water and the rest of them during your talk. So he or she is asking, do you advise us to use salt to wash our vegetables? So what do you say, please? And we're going to round up for the night. Thank you.
Okay, using salt to wash vegetables, prepare vegetables are just like we're trying to enhance their flavor, and we're trying to use the salt as a way of healthy microbial substances to rinse some of those harmful pests and insecticides that can actually be in it, and we rinse it well. One of the things that my mom will always do after washing it, she will just test one of the vegetable, because my grandfather that was staying with us was actually hypertensive, so she made sure that she rinses the salt. But for the side of cleansing and removing some pests and some things that must have been on the vegetable can actually be beneficial. And of course, we know that there are many benefits while we use iodized salts, and I don't need to overemphasize that. The person asking me be saying, but some hypertensive people, they say don't take salt. Yes, don't put salt in their diet. Yes, that's true. Quite all right. Those some plants that you're even giving them also contains salty kind of. Some drinks that you give them can even be salty, and you need to rule that out. But the natural culture of using salt, you rinse over and over. You're just using it for the purpose of enhancing the flavor, for the purpose of removing some pests and some chemicals, for the purpose of making sure that the sand, because it tends to, of course, we know the law of osmosis, right? And we know the law of diffusion. And so when you put the salt and the water on top, of course, and then you're rinsing them, you see that the sands and all that goes down. It improves texture and preservation. And so those are the long practice habits that our culture Nigeria allows, and that is why iodized salt is usually allowed in our meal. I don't need to tell you the importance of some of the iodine, the T3 and T4 that works in our body. Okay, so but it must be in moderation. Like I always say, there is actually a daily requirement. There's actually a requirement for the water and the salt that you're putting. There must be moderation, and you also take cognizance of the types of salt that you want to use, so it's not harmful. That practice for the water, and of course the sodium chloride, and the veggie, and the sand and the pest and the chemical you're removing. It's not bad, but ensure that you rinse it very well.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Silva. Could you all please give her a round of applause, I think electronically, please, just to say we appreciate you, Dr. Silva, for what you've done tonight. Thank you very much. And please, if you want the materials, there is, if you see the chat box, there is the WhatsApp group. We're going to share the materials on the WhatsApp group. Later on the channel, the Aspire for Excellence Foundation YouTube channel, you are also going to see these materials, also the video and everything. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has taken some time to come tonight. Thank you very much, especially Dr. Sylvia, Ambassador Henry.